Hello, Bizarre Story friends. You've tuned into the Bizarre AF, a place where we talk about the strange, the unusual, the unknown, and all things Bizarre AF. I'm Kevin. I'm going to be your host for today's episode, and as always, we ask that you please keep an open mind, keep a skeptical ear, but keep listening to those facts as we take you on our newest journey. North Korea, the shocking goings-on within the world's most recluse country. Well, hello, my Bizarre Story friends. Please help me welcome my co-hostess with the mostest, Alicia. Hey, girl.
Hey, boy. How are you?
Good. How's kids?
Yeah, breathing seasonal affective disorder.
Trying to get over the time shift and the long nights.
I swear to God, that shift was like,
A killer.
it was horrible. Yeah.
It was horrible.
This year was horrible. Horrible.
Horrible. I think it gets worse and worse for me every year. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. There's like I was telling you yesterday, there's like a little conspiracy theory that people are like, they actually took more time from us.
They took more time from us.
Those people, the shadow government and, one world. I mean, come on, we're in the space where we listen to all of it. But yeah, so they're saying, that it was more time. And everyone I've spoken to is like, yeah, that was like, the time shift was really hard this year. It seemed like it was like 2 hours.
They need to stop the shenanigans.
It makes zero sense.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it. So what do you think of when I say North Korea? Like, what comes to your mind?
I think of dictatorship, people who are brainwashed into thinking like their leader is a god, like literally a god, and like they are descended from gods. I think of children and families who are starving, and this idea of everything being equal, and it's really just gray and sad.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. We're going to talk about all of those things. But I bet you didn't know that the biggest driving force behind our money redesign was because of North
I
Korea.
didn't know that at all.
Didn't know that,
They
right?
influenced us, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So have you ever heard, Alicia, of the Pink Lady? North Korea's Pink Lady?
I was thinking the Apple or like the Greece Pink Ladies.
No. This is North Korea's Pink Lady. Have you ever heard?
I haven't.
I would bet if you saw a news broadcast from North Korea, you would go, oh, yeah, I've seen her before. Because she's the news anchor for North Korea's state television, and she is the most famous anchor there. When people would get wind that she was coming on the air, people would gather around the TV because they knew it was going to be some big announcement. And what she wears is, they call her that because she wears that traditional Korean dress,
yes.
but it's hot pink.
It's hot pink?
Hot pink. It's like pink. And she wears this for special news announcements. And I know if you see it, you'll go, yeah, I've seen her before. I've totally seen her before.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look her up.
You look her up. Look her up. So all this happens because she delivers this special announcement in April 2009. And people are gathering around their television because they know the Pink Lady's coming. And she tells everyone that they have successfully launched a long-range rocket to send satellites into space, which then turns into another launch and another again and again and again and again and again. Now, North Korea insists that these launches are peaceful, that they're just scientific explorations. But each time the missiles get closer and closer and closer to their sworn enemy, which is the United States of America, and more lethal their potential effect of these missiles get each time. So with every missile launch and nuclear test, North Korea gets more isolated because every time they do that, it's another round of sanctions.
Right.
Especially financial ones. And so the country becomes more and more shut off from the world's economy. It can't borrow money on the international financial market, again, because of these sanctions. And so North Korea gets in this loop. Missile tests equal sanctions. Sanctions equals no income for the country. But then yet they go and spend money on missiles, which means more sanctions, which means less money. So how in the F are they building these missiles and these nuclear warheads? This becomes
they have less money. Yeah, like if they're able to do this, they need some kind of outside income source.
They need, yes, they need moolah. And so they're near total bankruptcy. So the U.S. is going, where in the F? How are they doing this? And whenever you see official news footage in North Korea, it always seems to show like overflowing supermarkets and everyone prospering. Yet you and I both know that they're starving to death.
Right. Like they show really fit looking people and
yes, happy and thriving.
Happy to be there. A family unit that's really connected, and they're just thriving under this
fake facade.
Yeah.
Yes. It's heartbreaking. And so then you go, well, why can't the country afford to feed them? And they're building all these missiles and all this, getting all this money, but they can't afford to feed their people. Like, what's happening with their money? So, as we like to do here at the Bizarre AF, we have to go back into history a little bit to kind of figure out where we are today.
Yes.
So, we're going to go back to April 15th of 1945, and they call it VJ Day. And the Koreans call it Liberation Day, and that's the day that the emperor was announcing Japan's surrender.
Emperor of Japan.
40 years of Japan's domination, Korea makes this start to kind of go back into independence.
Right.
Okay, from Japan. A few days after Japanese leave, the Soviets arrive in Korea. And then within a few weeks, Americans arrive in Korea. Eventually, the Soviets and the Americans agreed to divide Korea right at the 38th parallel. And so that's how we get North Korea and South Korea.
And the demilitarized zone.
And that little gap between the two right on the 38th parallel. So the Soviets install this guy, it's a young guy, a Korean. He was a Marxist. He was named Kim Il-sung in Pyongyang. And in 48, he founded the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, otherwise known as North Korea. So Kim really wants to reunify Korea. He wants South Korea, North Korea to become Korea again.
Yeah.
And with the permission of the Soviets, he launches a surprise attack on Seoul in June of 1950, sending millions of Koreans fleeing south.
Oh my God.
And this war for control of the Korean peninsula goes on for 3 years. And then Chinese troops join the North Korean side, right? Because we know the Chinese are
communists.
Yeah. And then the UN troops, led by the United States, joins the South side.
Yeah.
Okay. And so finally, after millions of deaths and bombings that left Korea in complete ruins, they call a truce. South Korea rebuilds with the Western help. North Korea rebuilds with the Eastern Bloc and Soviet Union.
Yeah.
In the early 90s, things start to fall apart for North Korea because we all know what happens to the Soviet Union. Collapses, meaning North Korea loses its biggest backer. And all the connections that obviously come with being friends with the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc, right? So Kim Il-sung dies of a heart attack in 94. And just as his son, Kim Jong-il, comes to power, things get a lot worse. They're hit by extreme weather.
Oh, great.
So floods, droughts wipe out the farms, leads to complete devastation, famine, like the worst famine like in the world.
Oh, my God.
Like even beyond Ethiopia. I mean, it was like hardcore.
So bad.
They still don't know how many people died as a result of that famine, but people put it anywhere from the range of 2 million to higher.
Oh my God.
And with a population of 20 million people, that's 1 in 10 people.
Yeah, that died from
famine.
God. Well, yeah. And then and their leader dies and they're like,
yes,
all of this, yeah. Especially like if I were looking at that, I'd be like, oh my God, maybe he was protecting us or something, right?
Yes.
Like you have to think something's up. You're like, there's something wrong with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. They lose faith, basically.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. 1 in 10 people, you personally know so many people who have died.
And so there's all this speculation about whether Kim Jong-il is losing grip on power. Makes him realize, I got to do something.
Yeah, definitely.
He needs to become this savior.
Yeah.
Right? He needs to get people to believe that, like you said before, that he is, for lack of a better term, their God. Like without him, they will continue to die.
Right. I mean, what is like the one way that you can, well, you can unite people against a common enemy, or you can have people unite against something that is going to take care of them and save them.
Exactly. So instead of going, let's see, let's get people prosperous. Let's help them build farms. Let's get them fed. Let's create this economy where everyone can thrive. And then they know that they can depend on me.
Yes.
No. Instead, this little motherfucker goes, let's see, I'm going to build a shit ton of weapons, and then I'm going to provoke the United States because they are the worst people in the world, right? Because they broke up our country.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to convince the people that without me and my military and my scary weapons, that they're all going to die. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's the choice I'm going to make.
Like, let's be honest. Okay, if we go back to like the 1940s, when you were telling me the North Korea guy wants to go and take over South Korea or wants to unify them, I'm like, did he just ask?
Right. Did we have a discussion about it?
Did we just like ask whether or not that would be okay? Or hey, it makes more sense for us to be one country. Why don't we just like look at what that looks like?
Yes,
we're an
we can figure
island.
that out.
Yeah, let's just like figure out what that looks like. No, what did he do? He just like
He's
tries
like,
to
"I'm gonna
bomb
bomb
them.
you."
Yeah, let me make the most sense. But once again, this is something that comes up in our podcast often. It's like people want power. If he were to unify and just be like, let's try to work together to make this happen, well, he might lose power, and all of his cronies might lose power.
Yes.
And then same thing with them. It's like, they're no better. Like they would lose power, and maybe they would have to like meet halfway and have, partial communist, like, government. I get it. I totally get it. But also it's like, you guys are all fucking Koreans.
Exactly.
You're not North Korean. You're Korean.
Exactly.
It's the same language.
It's not like Chinese American or Russian and French. It's
Yes.
like you are literally the same people.
You're the same. You speak the same language. You have the same culture. What the hell, people?
Nuts. So 1998, at the height of complete famine, is people starving due to their extreme lack of money. He builds this arsenal that he wants, and it works. It's kind of like, you see, you're all starving in famine because of the United States and these weapons that I'm firing. It's protecting us from the complete enemy that they're being, like you said before, brainwashed into believing, or the total cause of how they live today.
Yeah.
They know no different. They cannot know any different.
No, we talk about it now. Like, you have propaganda. It's called propaganda, right?
Right.
Like,
well, we get propaganda.
We get propaganda.
We get the benefit of being able to check it.
Right. We also have, Beyonce's internet that we can check check things on. Like, we can look at it and like say, oh, hey, is this factual?
Right.
We have multiple sources that we can pull from. Of course, everything has an angle, but propaganda is propaganda.
That's
and
right.
For us to sit here and think that we are so different from North Koreans.
Right.
We were just talking about a news story, and you were like, oh, I haven't even heard of that one. I'm like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because what I watched chose to not tell me.
yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. So although like it's very easy for us to like think that like North Koreans are different, like their culture or whatever, it's like we are very similar, and we're not so far removed from this world.
Nope. Exactly.
But yeah, of course they're not going to know like that what he's saying is incorrect because they don't see it.
They
They're only
can't
watching
be allowed to see it.
Yeah, they have state-run television
And no internet.
and no
the world.
internet. Oh my God.
So again, all Kim has to do is have his little pink lady tell everyone how he just protected them from that last missile launch. They don't know any different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like I said before, when Pink Lady talks, everyone listens. Like, she is the voice of God. Right. She is the truth.
The mouthpiece.
The truth there, the mouthpiece. Mm-hmm.
The prophet.
Now, Kim Jong-il, this ruthless little bastard dictator, gets anything that he wants. And no one is questioning his abilities anymore. They're like, oh, he's protecting us. And yes, Messiah, I think he's. So in 1978, before he becomes leader, Kim Jong-il this is an example of him getting everything he wants. He's obsessed with movies. Like, he's like this movie fanatic. Okay. And he was terribly unhappy with North Korea's movie, right? It's not like they have Universal Studios or Sony that can just make these great pictures, right? It's repressed North Korea.
Yes.
So he's like, these movies suck.
I mean, yeah, totally.
They probably did.
Totally. It's like closed caption or like, imagine like your high school, like journalism, like news, like it's not cute.
Yeah. Your AV club.
Yeah. Your AV club, who has like limited resources and, licensing. Like there's no way that you're going to watch and be like, this really inspired me.
This is Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
So he decides he needs his favorite movie star and film director to help revamp the country's film industry. Well, one problem, the movie star and the director, they were South Korean.
Yeah, I was wondering
right?
if they're Korean, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, they, like we said, they used to be one country.
Yes.
Same people.
Yeah.
But now they're in the town. So we can't exactly, call them up and say, hey, could you guys make me some movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just
Can you do me a favor?
Can't possibly work. So what does he do instead? Oh, he kidnaps them.
Shut up.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the next logical step. Instead of being like, hey,
let's work something out.
Yeah, let's like do a contract. I'll pay you slightly. Like, nope, not even a thought. I need to kidnap them.
So North Korean agents snatched this actress, Choi Eun-hee, while she was in Hong Kong. And then they lured her famous ex-husband, who was the film director that he liked. They lured him, Shin Sang Ok, to Hong Kong, snatch him too. Those two spend the next 8 years in captivity in North Korea, forced to make a movie.
Holy fuck. 8 years. 8 years of not seeing your family. Also, let's be honest, not being able to be creative. Like it's a huge deal for creatives.
Under duress.
Right? Under duress, stressed out. And then, oh my God, like imagine what is that called when you start sympathizing with your actor?
Stockholm syndrome.
The Stockholm syndrome would be really strong. And you can't, imagine that you are now being taken over by a dictator, or like are kidnapped by a dictator, and you're now living in their country. There is no. There is no like conversation.
No.
Like you listen to what they have to say because your life depends on it.
That's right. Yeah, under complete
God.
duress. They managed to flee during a trip to Vienna, which we could probably cover in a whole nother episode of this show. Nuts.
Vienna, of all places.
So anyway, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with. Just some background. So
yeah, he's a weirdo.
So anyway, digress back to something's not adding up to the U.S. about the cost of all of this activity.
Right, yeah.
Cut off from the world, yet the regime is somehow getting enough money to build these ballistic missiles and nuclear warheads. So now it's time for us, Classroom, to meet a man named David Asher. And in 2003, he was a senior advisor working for the State Department's North Korea, what they call working group. And he himself is thinking something is odd with the whole money thing. Yeah. So he becomes the head dude behind an effort that they had called the Illicit Activities Initiative. And this, in a nutshell, it was a plan to stop North Korea's money flow by targeting any criminal activity that they could find. Ultimately, he oversaw 240 U.S. officials and members of the intelligence and police services in our country, as well as 15 ally partners, all to target Kim Jong-il. Now, as the State Department digs away, they uncover scheme after scheme after scheme, everything from A to Z. They were counterfeiting things from cigarettes to Viagra. This team, personally witnessed about $3 billion in profits from these counterfeiting things.
Holy shit.
Now, they were doing what? It wasn't cheap counterfeits. Like, they were painstakingly making them legit. Like, not gross counterfeits. Like, quality counterfeits.
Okay, so do you remember like last year when like there were, or maybe it was like this earlier this year, but when Trump had like announced like the tariffs on China,
yes,
and then all these China like makers started saying, hey, by the way, you know how you like Prada? We sell these glasses. They may not have the Prada logo, but it's the same thing. We make them. They just put on their own logos or whatever.
I believe it.
And they're like, by the way, if you want to contact me directly at this number, and I will give you the money. Yeah. So you know, and they're legit. These are legit. They say counterfeit, but like some of them are actually
what
legit.
they make.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it seems like, so North Korea is actually throwing out these like, I mean, I'm assuming that's where you, like when you're in Chinatown or whatever in New York City, and you can go and get like a fake bag or like a fake, and like sometimes you're brought into
the back.
Yeah, in the back, or like into some weird alley, and like a woman like goes into her trunk and like pulls out bags. You're like, yeah, I'll take that one. You know,
Yeah,
so
20.
yeah, but it's like, is that how they're shipping these things out? Like they're legit, but like, how are they all going out undetected?
Right. Well, this whole network. Have you ever heard of The Sopranos?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's like a mob. They've got a network, girl.
They have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kim's like a mob boss.
Yeah.
So like a Soprano, like a Pablo Escobar. The problem being though is he is in charge of a nuclear arsenal. This is the difference.
Right. He has like missiles and like weapons. So we're not going to just like turn our head at him selling counterfeit or like really good copies of things.
Right.
There's a bigger problem here.
Exactly. And then I haven't even hit the thing that makes it even worse. We haven't even talked about that yet.
No.
So in the summer of 2002, the FBI launches 2 investigations with really cool names called Operation Royal Charm and Operation Smoking Dragon. One was on the East Coast, one was on the West Coast in the United States. So a guy by the name Bob Hammer was the lead investigator on Smoking Dragon sting. He takes the assignment of tracking the criminal syndicate that is smuggling knockoff cigarettes into the United States.
Right.
Okay. So he comes up with a cover story that he was an older white man, had a warehouse in Los Angeles area, and he would store contraband there, whatever it may be, in his warehouse to help it get moved about in the country. That was his cover. So over time, he infiltrates the group, bringing in all these counterfeit goods. And it wasn't long before it expanded beyond cigarettes. Gets stolen cars, clothing, weapons, fake pharmaceuticals, i.e. the Viagra, and the drugs didn't even stop there. As Bob earns their trusts, they let him in on bigger and bigger and bigger schemes. Then one day, insert dramatic pause, they asked Bob to set up a crystal meth laboratory.
They're like the friend that like you're clearly getting something out of the friendship, but like they're kind of a little weird. They keep on like pushing the envelope. They're like, hey, can I come over and borrow your shoes? Sure, that's a little weird, but yeah. Can I borrow this? Can I have this? Hey, would you do me a favor? Do this for me. And you're like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
How did this go from 0 to like 100? A meth lab?
Yeah,
What?
in North Korea, by the way. They want him to come to North Korea, build this meth lab, and the idea is that he was going to produce 600 kilos of meth, and he was told the Chinese would be the middlemen to export the drugs. They would keep a third, Bob would keep a third, and North Korea would keep a third.
So, yeah, go ahead.
And so Bob would ensure that he was to ensure the successful production and exportation of the meth out of the country. And they wanted the front to be a detergent factory. So Bob goes to talk to the DEA and tells them what's going on. And they're like, well, that's interesting because the same equipment that you use to make detergent, you would use to make crystal meth. So it's a perfect cover.
So
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. They were strategic about it.
Yeah, not dumb.
What the heck?
God, girl, put your energy in something else.
I know. Peace.
So the U.S. government can't exactly get involved with setting up a crystal meth lab.
Yeah. It kind of looks bad on
No problem.
the U.S. government, yeah.
So they pass up on this offer, but it makes them think like they've gone from counterfeiting cigarettes and Viagra to crystal meth. Like it's like no holds barred. Like they are full on syndicate.
Yeah, can we talk about like the pipeline from like cigarettes to Viagra to then meth? How do you choose like how do you say, okay, I have a good idea, this is gonna make a lot of money. It's really upping the ante and seeing whether or not they can trust Bob, right?
Exactly. And the more they can trust Bob, the bigger the stakes.
Right.
The bigger the money.
Yeah, they're only gonna talk about the cigarettes initially, right?
Right, exactly.
Why would you be like, hey, do you mind if we create it like this?
Hey, we know we just met you. But.
Yeah. So we're trying to get this meth lab off the ground. Do you mind?
So it makes them wonder, like, how many manufacturing plants does North Korea have? Like, what are all the things that they're producing?
Yeah. Yeah, what else are they doing?
What else are they doing? So they end up finding one, and they find a paper manufacturing company that was making fake money. And we're not just talking like fake counterfeiting. We're not just talking like, printing fake money. Like, these forgeries were so good that experts in U.S. currency could not tell the difference.
That's wild.
That's sick. That's insane. Insane.
So crazy.
So they end up calling them super notes. That's what they called these particular counterfeiting bills, or super notes, or super dollars. So the U.S. starts seeing these high quality fakes in 1990s, and over the years, they pop up in more and more places, often in the hands of North Korean diplomats.
Makes sense.
Right. They're going to go travel to the United States. Hey, here's a few hundred stacks of hundreds. You're going to go use this. We're going to wash it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. This is tip everyone. They hold a door open for you. Here you go. Tip them.
Yes. Or pay for $1 beverage with this $100 bill so you can get $99 of real money. As an example.
Oh, duh. Yes, of course, because they're trying to get more money.
They want real money.
So the smugglers are the diplomats.
Yeah. Yes. Well, they can't say no.
Oh, yeah. No, they're dying if they say no. If they say no, they're dead. And their whole family's dead. Yeah. Or like tortured or whatever.
So, no choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they really start seeing the money wash up in the U.S., the FBI put Bob and his team on the case. So through Bob's criminal connections, puts the word out that he wanted some of this forged money. Bob wants to get some of this counterfeit money. And as he expected, it happens. They bring him 5 samples of this money. He gives them to the Secret Service, who are in charge of investigating counterfeiting in America. The first 3, they said, were very good. Nothing earth-shattering. They could ultimately figure out a way to detect them as fakes. But the last 2 notes, they told Bob, if you hadn't told us these were fake, we would have told you they were absolutely real. So through a Hong Kong shell company, they sourced the exact linen and cotton paper. This is North Korea. The suppliers thought that they were fulfilling an order for high quality stationery, but instead the products were ended up then being shipped to North Korea to use in their paper mill. Which I start thinking about, have you seen how they make money? They've got those colored fibers and stuff in the paper. So I'm sorry, that company that made the paper, you're kind of an idiot.
Right.
If you figured out how to duplicate American money paper and you think it's for stationery, you're an idiot.
Okay, can I just speak on behalf of stationery?
Yes.
Because I'm really into it.
Yes.
And notebooks, really nice paper and nice pens.
Yes.
There is such a huge difference
in quality paper. Agreed.
Like having a notebook that sits flat, and I honestly love Japanese notebooks and stuff.
Yes.
But, that are,
you can flip the thick pages and it just lays.
It just lays, and the way that your pen glides over the paper is just so nice. Yes, I understand that. Come on, money versus paper, it's the same fucking thing. But also, people like us who love a nice piece of paper, or there are so many of them. So would it be so crazy to think that maybe, I don't know,
that they put blue and red and green fibers in the paper? Why would you do that?
Well, I've had to make it look like it's recycled, or make it look like that homemade paper. You know how they have and things like that'll look that way.
I guess.
But yeah, why would it not be all the exact same?
I mean, it's identical. Clearly, they thought it was with the real paper.
Yeah, that's.
And how did they know? Anyway,
it had
so many questions.
They had to have. There was someone on the inside. There had to have been.
Had to have been. So they call it Plant 62. This is what the Americans end up calling this paper manufacturer in North Korea.
Okay.
That's the front, right?
Okay.
The paper manufacturing. They call it Plant 62. And in fact, there's places of it online. You can see it. And it's got it looks like a prison. Like there's guard towers. There's like walls with barbed wire. It's like this 4-story building. But of course, North Koreans aren't going to question it.
No.
Of course, that's a paper manufacturing company.
Yeah.
They're not going to question it.
They think their people are gods.
And you don't question. You don't ask questions.
You don't ask questions at all.
So the micro printing features, like it's 140 thousandths of an inch. You know how they say that the printing is kind of raised a little bit? If you get a brand new dollar bill and you rub your finger over it, you can kind of feel it.
You can feel the different inks and stuff.
Yes. That was exactly 140 thousandths of an inch. It was identical. Absolutely identical. All of these little, I don't know, there's like little spiders printed in corners. There's like the ribbon inside. There's the holograph. There's 100 different things, right?
There are a ton of like small things that like add up to like ensure that it's not
real.
Yeah, that it's real.
All of them were there. The genius part about this whole thing is that the North Koreans put microscopic flaws in their notes so that they could tell the difference between a real and their own fake. That's the only way they could tell the difference.
So they knew where to look.
They knew exactly a microscopic flaw where to look for.
Wow.
And
so if a bunch of like hundreds came back, they'd be like, fuck you. Like, this is our own fake money. Like,
they have to meticulously look at every one.
Every single bill.
Every single one, which they ended up, I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
So the U.S. Treasury had to introduce new security features because they find out about this. But Plant 62 somehow keeps the pace. Now, it could be argued somebody inside,
right?
Or they're just this is like their bread and butter.
Yeah.
So they're gonna spend the time and the painstaking effort to figure all this stuff out and do it.
I mean, yeah, like as you were saying, it's like they have like both of them, or excuse me, this plant, these people, that's their number one revenue and source. So why would they not,
or only,
yeah, source, most significant, surely. Like, why would they not be creating different versions and have ways and like know all the spots to check the imperfections at?
That's their purpose in life.
They're diversifying their money that is like perfect. I'll be honest, fucking go for it. The fact that they've like created all of this, you're like,
it's impressive.
It's like, maybe you guys should be creating money. Like maybe there's something we can learn from you in this whole thing. The determination's impressive.
Exactly. So by the mid-1990s, North Korea had weaponized the U.S. dollar itself, obviously, turning America's currency into ultimately a financial attack. Right. So the U.S. is being very patient, but by the 90s, the scope of the super note was out of control. So they're like, we've got to do something about this. In 96, the U.S. did a completely redesigned U.S. bill, and that's when Franklin's portrait got huge.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, it got really big in the middle? That's why they did that. They did all the other stuff that you remember. They added watermarks, and the security threads were moved and enhanced. And
if you like held if you hold like a dollar bill or something like up in the light, then you could see like the picture of Benjamin Franklin.
Like a mark? Yes.
It's like smaller on the inside, and there are like various spots. And you know what? I'll be honest. Our currency has always been boring as fuck.
It is boring.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
It's getting better now.
That was the best one, right?
Yes.
But you look at everybody else's money, it's so gorgeous.
It's like multiple colors. You have like a strip of like,
or clear windows in some of them.
Yeah, it's like, it's super like it, from an artistry or like, just looking at the bills and the coins, they just look so much better and so much more professional. Oh my God. Ours do look shitty. And it seems like they should like go to a different fucking, they should be, you know what? If it took North Korea making so much money off of us to get better money, great.
Do it. Yes.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the better looking money, but it still looks bad. So they changed the size.
Yes. And
because
so
of that.
That was America's kind of way also of just telling North Korea, we know what you're doing. That was kind of their intent.
Yeah, because that was the only one that was
so
updated.
significantly different. It wasn't like just a little change. It was a significant change. And so then North Korea responds with something even more audacious, because less than 2 years later, the first counterfeit of the Big Head Franklin surfaced in a London bank.
Shut up.
Because somehow, through industrial espionage, they had obtained the exact pigment formulation used by the Treasury. Because remember, they changed the ink too. It was like this holographic ink.
Yes.
Remember? Or color shifting or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that was manufactured by a Swiss company. So they somehow infiltrated
the Swiss
company.
They're like, now we're making pens for our stationery company.
Anyway, I digress back to Bob was wanting to buy the money, right?
Yeah.
They were going to sell it to him for 35 cents on the dollar.
Okay.
So he wanted $1 million, going to cost him $350,000 to buy this money. And there was this reporter from the AP, and she tells this story where, they couldn't use foreign credit cards in North Korea. So they had to take cash, and she would always take $100 bills, because you need to take a lot of cash. You can't take 10s and 20s. And every time that she would give them the money, they'd put it on a table, and all these North Koreans would gather around and inspect every bill. And she thought it was weird. She's like, why are you
checking every bill? Like, I'm giving you this money. This is very weird.
Unbeknownst to her, they were looking for the little microscopic flaw.
They wanted to they're like,
you're giving us our money back.
Yeah. We don't want our shitty money. We want the real shit.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so insane.
And so she reports this to the other thing. Yeah. So she goes to a store, and everywhere that they went, they were like trying to exchange money with her. Like, that was people's, like, if you were in a store, that's what they wanted you to do. Like, everyone was asking her to exchange money.
Can I have your money?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to trade 100 for your 100?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So she reports this to the North Korean embassy, because she's a London reporter. And they, of course, deny it. Say it's a farce. The U.S. has, trying to trash North Korea. Well, because, America is North Korea's enemy. But, of course, they deny it. Say complete farce.
Right.
Bob gets, back to Bob, he purchases the $1 million in super notes for $350,000. He's told that the super notes are going to arrive in a container filled with rolls of fabric. And they somehow, at the end of the roll, had all of these fake $100 bills. I mean, they deliver it to his warehouse.
Yeah.
This $1 million in fake money. So now the FBI has the evidence that they need to start making arrests. But the problem is, they got to get these people to the United States. Like, how?
Yeah, they have to extradite them. They have to
get them here.
Yeah, how are you supposed to get, especially for a country like that is like totally closed off? How the hell are you going to
get them to the United States?
To the U.S.
Right.
A legitimate reason.
So this is where Smoking Dragon and Royal Charm kick in.
Okay.
So on the East Coast, they set up this fake wedding. It was like legit. They created all these wedding invitations, guest registry, wedding registry. I mean, it was a full-on production. The FBI even lent, and of course the groom and the bride were FBI agents, but they got like a big, huge diamond ring out of their wherever they store their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like.
Like a massive, you cannot, don't miss this.
You couldn't deny this wedding.
Yeah,
you couldn't miss it. Yeah,
it's like the event of the century.
Exactly. So, the wedding is going to happen on a yacht.
Ooh, perfect.
And so all the wedding guests turn up. People were bringing registered guests. Like they report, one guest even brought a Rolex. I mean, these are highfalutin,
rich people,
rich bitches. Yeah. Yes. And so they get all of these guests into the cars, limo-driven cars, to take them to the yacht. They all had their own car, their own chauffeur. Unbeknownst to them, they were getting driven right to the FBI.
Right. They're like, oh yeah, no, we'll drive you straight there.
Yes, exactly, in your own little car.
Yeah, you're so lucky. Like you think about it, and you're saying like a Rolls, or they have like these Rolexes or whatever. Wouldn't you think like everyone's like, do you guys know these people? Do you know these people? Like these, I don't know the people who are having this
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get the details about how they felt like they needed to show up, other than, you get so tight in these things.
Yeah, in the world, it's like everyone gets invited to everything.
And in some form or fashion, you're going to feel like you're obligated to go, especially if it's this, billion-dollar wedding.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
So that's probably what happened. Anyway, so Smoking Dragon went even deeper. So for 18 months, undercover agents embedded themselves in the Chinese and Taiwanese smuggling rings. They watched super notes being hidden in hollowed out books, sewn into fabric bolts, like what Bob got, stuffed inside children's toys, legitimate containers, like it was going all over the place. And I think the most fascinating one was they tracked this Taiwanese guy who lived in Las Vegas, and he would take the counterfeit $100 bills into a casino, put them into a penny slot, play a few hands, cash out, and then take the ticket to the cashier. So basically put $100 in, play a couple penny rounds, cash out, take the $99 ticket to the cashier and get 99 real dollars.
Wow.
Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. In just a weekend, he cleaned like $10,000. Like it was easy for him to do.
Well, and nobody questioned the fact that he had like these $100 bills that he was just putting in a
penny slot.
I know, a high roller
and a penny slot.
And a penny slot. Yeah.
Please.
That's fucking hilarious.
So dumb. And so the casinos had obviously video of this. And they get help from the Secret Service to examine, these reels, and it was later used as evidence. But we see him ultimately meeting with Bob, our Bob guy, because he was involved in this. And he met him at a Ritz-Carlton. There was also another guy that was doing the counterfeit cigarette thing. He helped kind of coordinate. So they're doing all of this stuff to get these criminals.
Yeah.
So Bob has come up with another story for his targets that he said he's married. Had a girlfriend. His wife found out about his girlfriend. He's filing a divorce, so he wants to have a divorce party. So that's how he was going to get more people.
Yes.
Party.
Yeah.
Quoting party. And by the way, we're having the party at the Playboy Mansion. So they're like,
I've never been to the Playboy Mansion. I want to go. Yeah.
So they end up arresting 59 people. But what's frustrating is that none of the North Koreans came. It was all the Chinese in Hong Kong.
That's what I was wondering.
Middlemen that showed up.
Yeah, it wasn't the people with the real. Yeah. I mean, it would make sense because like what is the purpose? They're going to go to the United States to see a wedding.
Yeah, someone's not going to let them do that.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the famous Sony incident? Do you remember the movie that came out about North Korea? It was a comedy, and then Sony got hacked, and the files got threatened to be deleted. And do you remember this?
You know what? I vaguely remember that happening. Yeah, that was like in 2000.
Yeah, when was that? Yeah, it's been a while ago. Well, that was North Korea hacking into Sony because ultimately what's happened is the United States has shut down their entire counterfeiting ring, right? By this point, like North Korea's busted. Like they can't do anything. Banks are being scared. They don't want to do business with North Korea anymore.
Right.
So now they're truly getting shut out of the world. And so they're like, well, now what can we do? Cyber crime.
Right.
Cybercrime.
Right.
So the Sony thing was kind of their first big attempt, successful attempt, by the way, of hacking into a company. So on the 29th of January in 2015, an email is sent to the Central Bank of Bangladesh from someone saying they're looking for work. And by the way, it's exactly like the same email that was sent to Sony, but this one goes to many employees. And here's what the letter said. It said, "Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm extremely excited about the idea of becoming part of your company, and I'm hoping that you can give me an opportunity to present my case in further detail in a personal interview. Here is my resume and cover letter. Thank you in advance for your time and consideration." Well, it only takes one person to open that attachment. One.
Yeah.
And they had full-on access to that bank. And they were in the process, literally in the process of getting almost $1 billion out of this bank. And this is another episode that I'm actually considering I'm doing, is this whole event. Someone, by some luck, sees something and ends up stopping it. They still got away with $81 million, by the way.
Holy shit.
But they didn't get $1 billion.
Right.
So now we got North Korea, complete expert cyber criminals. What the actual hell?
They're like the kid who keeps on getting put into timeout, and like they just find another way to get in trouble. You're like, no. We are not giving you need to stop playing with that ball. You're not, like you're not supposed to sit, like you're in timeout. You need to sit in timeout, like you're on a stool. Then they're like playing with the stool, and you're like, somehow like creating crazy drama. Okay, we're taking away your stool. You still have to sit in the corner. And then it's just like the ante keeps on being brought up and up and up.
Yes, they are like I said at the top of the show, they are the most recluse, cut off from the world country.
Yes.
Yet look at what they can accomplish.
It's the ingenuity. Like it's impressive.
Can you imagine what they could do for their people?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Korea could probably become Korea again, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it totally could. Yeah.
But the dictator doesn't want that. He wants to do crime and, live off his people's back.
Right. I mean, because, him and all the people who are in power, it's like we're always talking about this power, this idea, this power dynamic. And it's like, of course he's going to try to keep him and his cronies like in power. Of course he's going to. He's not going to all of a sudden like have a change of heart. And, by the way, it's like the current, what is it? The current ruler or the dictator, God, king, whatever, of North Korea. He is the son of this guy. So it's like,
yes.
So it's not like his, it's not like his dad was like, okay, we're going to watch Disney movies and like have you learn morality and like, and teach you all these things. It's like you are used to a criminal. Yes. It's like ring.
Mob raising mob.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
It's like, that's what you're going to continue it. You're not going to be thinking about people, and their, welfare. This is the only world you've known.
I knew what you knew about North Korea when we talked about it and the things you were saying. That's what I thought. When I heard the level of criminal activity, the counterfeiting and the cybercrime that came out of that, my jaw dropped to the floor. I couldn't believe it.
Actually, like it was pretty, I've not heard of that. And like, let's be honest, like, you have like all of those emails, like report phishing or spam or whatever,
yes.
Like report these things because you never know. But it's like, apparently like with this bank, it's very, very true. Like if you open up a file from somewhere you don't know, it doesn't matter. Like when you were repeating what the email said, it sounded so fucking stupid. And like in my head, I'm like,
but you're in that mindset right now.
Yes, I am. Yeah. But like if you see that email, like if you see the email come through, you're like, this is very weirdly like written. Like what kind of motherfucker? Like let's see their resume
with an attachment. Yeah, exactly.
No, I'd be like, this
let's
is a weirdo.
See what this dummy is.
Yeah, who
does
is
he really
this?
have the experience?
Like, where the fuck is this guy from? Click.
Especially if you're not in that mindset.
Yeah.
It just takes one person.
It does. What? Because it was just one person, right? Like, and that's, and then they got like 86 million. Like the ingenuity is impressive. And you're like, God, if you could just be putting that energy towards something else, your people wouldn't be suffering because let's like not get it twisted. The Korean people are suffering. The people who are making this money is not the person who's like working as a factory worker.
That's right.
Who's actually making this fucking money. The geniuses and the people who are behind this it's not the dictator. Like, it's not those people in power. It's the people who happen to live there. So there is brilliance there. It's not within that leadership. And what a shame that is.
Sick.
It's totally sick. Like, quite literally living off the backs of your people.
Gross.
Can we just say fuck that guy?
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
And that family, because, you know, they raised a
piece
crazy
of shit person.
too.
I mean, they're all crazy. The other thing that I just think about is like, yeah, I just feel so bad because these war sanctions, it's like, it does feel really wrong, and it feels like we're punishing everyone because of the actions of a few.
We are.
It's sad.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yes. Gross.
I hope it would
gross.
be really cool. Like, if we had aliens come down, they're like, hey, guess what? We're going to make you guys all telepathic and everyone's one.
So
and
you
like,
can talk to them.
Yeah, you can talk to them. And then you can also just be like, well, guess what? We can like see how awful all these people are, and they're no longer in power. You know, I just hope that these people,
It's so sad.
get to see. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Honestly,
it is.
But like that story of the counterfeiting, like the money, it makes you wonder if something like that's currently happening. Like,
What don't we know?
There's so much we don't know. And the stuff that's like the scariest, right? Back then when they were like, you know, doing money and stuff, it was before the internet was where it is now. Oh my God, like, people can hack into, like, that's another thing. It's like, fucking protect your technology and like start putting blocks and stuff on things. Like I started covering the cameras. I don't have it covered on my phone, but like, I need to cover my phone up at all times. Like, that data, that information.
We really should be doing it on our iPads. And
I actually
have it on my computer.
Yeah, I have it on my iPad now, but like, I just got some. But it's like, you know, if they're hacking into banks, who's to say they're not hacking into everything else?
Well, of course they are.
You know?
Of course they are.
Don't trust anything.
Oh, God.
I know. That was such an interesting story. Holy shit. I didn't realize. I just think of them being like,
yes,
technologically
exactly.
like inept.
That's the thing. That's the stereotype it's in our.
I wouldn't think of a criminal mastermind.
No.
Syndicate.
Nope.
It's wild. God,
Nuts.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. We will. I guess we'll chat in a week or so.
Yes, we will. And you know, if you liked the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, rate us anywhere you're listening to this, and follow us on social media.
Please.
If you've ever been to North Korea, let us know. We're happy you're out if that's the case.
No doubt.
Or if you're listening from North Korea, get the fuck out. You're on the right side of history right now.
Great. I always talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.